Thanks for watching part 1. This is part 2 of the Glenn Rogers interview. Glenn will be joining us again shortly, along with some awesome special surprises. That is the power of live Hangout conversations. We are back and ready for business here on Google+. So, Glenn, let me just get the YouTube link. Glenn has been a lot of fun, and I'm having a lot of fun so far. If you're watching, I appreciate it. And Glenn is joining the Hangout now. We do have liftoff, Glenn Rogers.
Hey!
Hey, we are lifted off. We're in part 2. You're back. This is part 2, part 2. And
part 2.
Glenn Rogers Hot Shot part 2. And I'm just going to post this new link here and say, we are live, part 2.
Are we recording?
Of course.
We're on the air!
We are live. And bingo, bango, bongo is a Howard Stern thing, I think. No, I don't know.
Welcome to what, the Too Hot for TV version of Hangout Conversations?
The Too Hot, for TV, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
For G+, Too Hot for G+.
There is no such thing. I don't think we could be too hot for G+. We will have some surprises at any moment. I don't know when they'll pop in. And, these surprises might be human. They might not be. I don't make any promises. Glenn had some interesting wish list people or others to bring in here. And, I say the darndest thing when I'm multitasking, don't I? It's crazy. So, before they do get in here, and I appreciate everyone that watching part 2 and that's jumped over here, Motivus Jones, Lori Desautel, a lot of other people were watching, and Monica, and just hit refresh here on my new Google Plus profile and see the new link pop up. There it is. And then let me click that, and let me just post that to everyone else that's like, what's going on? Where is the thing we were watching? I don't get it, Matt Rappaport. This is so crazy. Why would you do this to me? We're just trying to watch a show in one place, and you gotta go everywhere. There'd be all the play. Yeah, I am crying. There is crying in Hangouts. It's a conspiracy theory. I probably posted the wrong link, too. I was like, what is the deal? I saw you said it's a conspiracy theory in there. So, and I lost. Did I lose my notes?
I'd be superstitious, but it's the 12th. It's not the 13th. So.
No, I'm a day early.
Yeah,
a day late. Let's do a this or that a G4 real quick. It's really just a rapid fire kind of thing. No wrong answer. Sometimes it's Sophie's choice. Writing or Google Plusing?
Huh?
All right. So it's which one do you like better, basically? You have to choose.
Writing?
You're a desert island, writing over Google Plusing. Okay. Well, the Google Plusing is half writing. Movies or games?
Movies.
Shower, eat, or sleep?
Definitely sleep.
All right. You know where I got that one from, right?
Yeah.
And The Onion, or The Daily Show?
Oh, The Daily Show.
All right, but it sounded like it was close based on that. Oh.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely a big fan of The Onion.
Okay. All right, that was a G4. You did well. You won a +1. +1. Audio +1.
Yay.
You win. And so you talked about MovieRiff. You talked about GameView a little bit. If you had to choose, could you choose between MovieRiff and GameView?
See, that's not fair. That's a blog I write, and that's a hangout I do.
I know. It's like two babies. That's a real Sophie's choice.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's definitely Sophie's choice.
I won't make you do that. So what was some of the comments where people were like, what happened? One of the Google guys laughed at me and said, nice. Literally, when it just like all of a sudden shut down. Everything shut. I was like, all right. And then Windows was not happy with that, and I had to go through the safe mode. Or no, the other mode.
Right.
It was crazy. So my stream is full of tons of different kinds of Hangouts, but it's all on Glenn Rogers. It's part 1 and part 2, and I made you wait so long that you need multiple parts and Conversations Plus afterwards because I want the whole night. There's sports chat, there's other Hangouts on air. Where were they in September or in October? Nowhere.
Exactly.
So I'm bringing it to you From here, from Mad.
I think that, like, the first part is the Fellowship of the Ring, and this is the Two Towers.
And the other one will be Return of the King, where we finally meet up with everybody.
Exactly.
So that makes, although that probably is Two Towers anyway. Two Towers. Both.
I was just using that metaphor.
You're like, it wasn't literal.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Although I do, when I end Conversations Plus, it is like Return of the King, because I say goodbye like 20 times. I'm like, all right, we're gonna wrap up now. And then I talk more and more and more, and then goodbye, and then people, and then usually when we say goodbye, there's always that one person that joins at the very end that thinks something's going on, and then we're like, so we're leaving now.
Yeah. Goodbye, Frodo. Goodbye, Sam. Goodbye, Sam.
Mr. Frodo, there's a time and a place for that.
I'm not going to do it.
Sean Astin.
Yeah.
In another life. So what are your? Do you have? So I did have a couple of guys from Flickchart.com a couple of weeks ago, and on that site, it's like choosing between movies. Do you know that site? Have you used it?
No, I haven't. I watched the interview the other day, and I was going to check it out.
Yeah, it's addictive. Well, it's highly addictive. I know there's people like to argue over whether it's to use addictive versus addicting. I use them interchangeably, but anyway, some people are more anal than others. The grammar police.
I'm glad you're not looking at me.
No, not you. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No. But yeah, so to choose between movies, I was going to ask about your favorite movie, and that's why the Flickchart came up, not because I'm shamelessly plugging.
Oh, well, after that plug, I have to plug the upcoming Blu-ray of Jaws.
Of course, you should.
It's my favorite movie of all time.
So how old were you when you saw Jaws?
Well, the first time I saw it was on television because I was much too young when it came out in the theaters, and I'm very happy because it would have
ruined your life.
Traumatic, yeah. But yeah, first time I saw it was cut to pieces. I guess I was very young. I was one of those earlier numbers. So, but yeah, I've watched it. I can pretty much lip sync to it now.
The man's gonna lip sync to a horror movie. That's darn out.
Well, it's more of an adventure movie, I think. I mean, it is scary. I think it's more of an adventure movie.
And I've gotten into that with Flickchart and with Jason, who does some movie shows. How do you classify a movie? It's easy. When you say comedy, drama, how in the old days when there were video stores and they had categories, and you were like, why is this in the comedy section, or why is this in this section? You're like, that used to happen. Never happened to you, Glenn? You're like, why is this a comedy, or this is a spoof, or
Yeah, well, yeah, in the rental places. One time I found, Schindler's List under a comedy, and I thought, these people
I think that was a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Too much Seinfeld.
Yeah, too much Seinfeld. You can never have enough.
Never.
Yeah, well, it's like Jaws, because people say, oh, that's not a terrible, but that's a scary horror film. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also an adventure. It's also about, has some great writing. Hear that, Michael Bay?
Wait, every time he says that, I gotta drink some coffee.
Thank you. Get ready to do it again, because it has flawless editing. Come on, do it again. There we go.
Yeah, flawless editing and a shark that now doesn't look as amazing, but.
And people you care about. Do it again.
Well, that's another movie where the trailer looks really amazing and has a lot to live up to, because the trailer is showing all the visuals. But then you watch the characters go through the motions. You're like, anybody could be doing it. It's not like any specific characters weren't so drawn out, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it was more of a concept film than an actor film. No offense, Leonardo.
No, take it. But that also hurts. That also, I think, hurts movies. Also has that feel where they're in a world that's not real, and I feel like I cared more about those characters.
Yeah. But by the same token, you say, well, it was visually dazzling, but wasn't Keanu incredible? You never hear that. You hear the first part, but I don't think you ever hear it.
Actually, I prefer Keanu in The Matrix to Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception. Is that amazing?
Well, if you switch the roles, that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think actually Keanu probably can pull off Inception. I think Leonardo in The Matrix, I think he's too small.
Looks like I'm dreaming. Whoa. Something like that.
That might be funny. Although I think Leonardo DiCaprio departed, and he was kind of small there. But they're gonna chop me up and feed me to the poor, or whatever he said. You can't let him do that. That's not good. I do. Leonardo DiCaprio is easier to impersonate. I've done it before. You know, he's done a lot of the similar the crybaby. You know, like you're so stupid, Rose. You're so stupid, and the whole like dad, and then Gilbert Grape, and it's the same kind of like it's like wait, but one's supposed to be special. But anyway.
I never thought of it that way, Matthew, but thank you.
And Shutter Island and Inception, two different filmmakers I respect, almost like the same idea of a movie in a sense, as far as like the character with the wife issues.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah, and they came out a couple of months apart. So Jaws is your favorite movie, and is there a movie that by far is the worst one you've ever seen that you wish never existed?
Wow.
Or that like you were like so pissed when you saw it, you're like, what the?
Well, the last film I saw that I was amazed that it actually got made. I mean, it was visually impressive, but there's like nothing going on here. It was called a movie called Sucker Punch. Yeah, it was directed by Zack Snyder, who actually did a very good remake of Dawn of the Dead, and he did 300. But anyway,
and he did The Watchmen.
Yeah, and he did Watchmen,
not the
Yeah, Watchmen was good too.
Well, I mean, you're probably a fan of the graphic novel, right?
Yeah.
So, to me, Watchmen, I didn't necessarily read I read the novel after it, and I didn't like. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay, but I get the idea that it wasn't a superhero movie, but it was about superheroes. I get that idea, but I don't know. I'm sure Sucker Punch was way worse.
Yeah, Sucker Punch didn't have an idea in its head. And Watchmen was basically about what would happen if people actually wanted to be superheroes, and basically they would be characterized as vigilantes. And what would happen if you donned a cape and actually went and fought crime? Which I think that's that's kind of what there's another movie called Kick-Ass kind of talked about. What would happen if you put on the costume and actually tried to fight crime?
Yeah, and I prefer Kick-Ass. I mean, I know, even though it wasn't as deep, I mean, and Kick-Ass too. It's like everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's such an amazing movie," and I thought it was good. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it wasn't so amazing because of the villain and his kid. Like the villain was so stereotypical, and the kid.
Yeah.
That kind of ruined it. But Nicolas Cage and Hit Girl were cool, but I did feel like the main kid that started the whole thing felt very Peter Parker, Spider-Man-like, right?
Yeah, it was very, very Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And it was like Peter Parker without the powers. And say that 5 times fast.
Peter Parker without the powers, 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 and I'm not going to do the last one, because you were right.
Oh.
Peter Parker without the powers.
You did 4, so you should get some sort of award.
+4. I'll take a +4.
Yeah, take a +4. Take them. They're free. But yeah, I love movies. Actually, I was thinking earlier about that question. It's like I love video games, but I love movies longer. So movies will always be near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. And video games, for the most part, a lot of them are cinematic now, even more than ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then movies are now becoming video games. It's like there are a lot of movies based on video games, and a lot of people say, "Oh, was it basically the movie just a guy going around shooting people? Like it's a one-player video game? Like that kind of ruins movies a little bit, right?"
Well, it's kind of like the directors of the movies that are based on video games. What they don't get is the interaction. That's what made the video game successful. You have the graphics and that sort of thing, but you have to interact. And if you go watch a movie like the big screen version of Doom, you probably have a lot of people in the audience trying to do their controllers, and you can't do that. I mean, it's just you sit back and watch. It's basically sitting back and watching somebody else playing the game, which is boring. So if you can, directors can make a film based on a video game, but deliver something new that you haven't seen in the video game, yeah, like they tried to do a version of Uncharted with Mark Wahlberg.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, I was rooting for Nathan Fillion, but well, it's a sarcastic kind of, it's a devil-may-care kind of character, and I'm sorry, Mark. It's just
And Mark isn't terrible. He has his moments, and Actually, the movie Ted actually looks like it's probably going to be funny.
The Mark with the who?
With Mark Ted, you've seen the trailer, right? It was all over Google Plus. Seth MacFarlane is a talking bear. Mark Wahlberg, no? Maybe you hated it. Maybe you didn't see it.
No, I thought I was dreaming that, but okay. Talking bear, really? Okay. No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not good, but it's one of those. It's Seth MacFarlane, so it's going to be like Family Guy-ish, like really, but raunchy and you know, F this and tons of crazy over the top type of stretching the line jokes. But it should be good. Lori Friedrich is watching. Stephanie Wanamaker, hello.
Lori!
Hey, Lori, and Monica, and everyone else. She was asking, what do we think about the movies being re-released in 3D? We'll start. I mean, the one that comes to mind is Titanic being re-released in 3D. What?
Well, yeah. Well, I've heard this thing in Hollywood. There's a saying that goes around is, if you can't make it good, make it in 3D. And that's kind of how I feel. It's like if you. Are you
against all 3D or just the re-release?
Not all 3D, because Avatar was quite impressive. But if you're doing 3D just for the sake of 3D and has nothing to do with the environment you're creating, the story that you're telling, it's like visual effects. You know, if you're doing CGI just because, hey, look, I'm doing CGI, well then, you know, no one's really going to care. They're going to go.
Was that Care Bears in 3D? What you were doing? Was that your?
What the who?
That voice, or was that Smurfette maybe?
That was just a voice I come up with. I have a bunch of different voices. It comes from my acting, you know, stuff.
Your acting is great. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I enjoy your little voices.
Thank you.
You got it.
A Drake Smurf. No, I don't think I can't go that far.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the movie, definitely, I've talked before, if the movie was shot in 3D and intended to be in 3D, have at it. But if the movie, like Piranha 3D, I didn't see it, but that's a movie as cheesy as it was meant to be cheesy, and I'm sure it's not a good movie, but I bet in 3D at the theater it could be a good time. And like I remember Freddy vs. Jason, but I don't remember if it was in 3D.
Freddy and Jason, no.
No, I know Freddy's Final Nightmare was in 3D. I remember seeing
Friday
that.
the 13th Part 3 was in 3D.
That one too, yeah. And those are fun. Those are fun times. But yeah, right now Hollywood is desperate to raise ticket prices because they're not high enough. 3D and IMAX. So it's like we're releasing Titanic in 3D. You're paying us, I don't know, here it could be up to like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bucks just for the movie. Add $3 to $6 for 3D. It's like you take, let's say it's 20 bucks almost for one ticket, and you're a family of four, $80 to see a movie. That sounds ridiculous. And it's without popcorn.
Yeah, there's no movie out there that's worth that much money.
Yeah, $100 for a family of four to go see a movie.
Not even Lawrence of Arabia, which is another one of my favorite films. I don't care if they re-release it and do it in 3D. I'm not going. I'm sorry. It's not worth it, you know. And
that's, yeah, the studios want to make more money. That's why independent films are coming out more. And they're doing the on-demand thing because they're like, you know what? Smaller films are going to, like I think Bobcat Goldthwait was on demand, and he was also in theaters, this new one. I don't know what it's called, but it's like they go around and Bobcat, the guy is fed up and he goes around and killing people. It's like satire. And I know Ed Burns does that.
Like satire, yeah.
Yeah. Ed Burns made a film recently that was in one of the festivals. Maybe it was last year's Tribeca, and he just released it on demand. But people are going that way, but still, I think the on-demand price was, I think it was like 40 or 50. That's still a lot of money for, I mean, I guess it's new, but unless it was 20.
Yeah, I think they were going to do it for Tower Heist. They were doing if you didn't want to go out and shell out $10 for the film, you could pay $50 and watch it at home. From what I heard, it wasn't worth either 10 or 50. So they kind of lost on that one. But I think really Hollywood's just kind of they're stretching. They're what's the word? They're drowning. And speaking of Titanic, but
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, sorry.
It happened 100 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you know.
And I like how they use that as an excuse. I mean, they would have released Titanic in 3D earlier, but they're like, you know what? If we do it on the 100th anniversary, it seems like we're doing something historic. We're not trying to make a ton of extra money off a movie. And Alex Grossman and Stephanie Wanamaker in the thread talking about the 3D and the ripping off people. Studios just want to excuse to rip off studios, Stephanie said, for each movie, and the glasses give her a headache, and Alex was just agreeing with her. So, but yeah, a movie like Avatar, again, if Avatar was not in 3D, Avatar is not that special. But the 3D was really, because it wasn't just 3D, Cameron really gives you a certain experience because he filmed it in a way to emphasize the 3D versus...
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the gimmick like, hi, I'm an Navi, something like that. It wasn't, fire the rocket. It doesn't look like that. It was just basically...
It wasn't like it wasn't like a Magic Kingdom ride.
Right. Exactly.
That's what you're trying to say, yeah.
Exactly. Jaws in 3D. So, but, yeah, it's always been a gimmick. 3D has always been a gimmick. It always will be a gimmick. And once they realize that it's a gimmick and has nothing to do with great storytelling.
Right. And is that how you feel about IMAX too?
Actually, IMAX kind of makes me dizzy, so I've never really tried to go to IMAX. I went to a couple of IMAX presentations, and it was kind of like the effect of putting the 3D glasses on. I
did see both Christopher Nolan Batmans in IMAX, and that was interesting. And actually, the second one he filmed in IMAX, and so the build, like when you're in IMAX and he's like over Chicago, I think they use that city, and they're over the landscapes. It was cool, and it's interesting. It's hard when you're watching a movie. Like to me, the movie, the entertainment, the storytelling is really important and exciting. But as a movie maker and even as a fan, those other aspects, like some of the visuals and some of the other things that happen in the movie, are really cool. And so sometimes you might say like this movie was like Inception. Like no matter how much I wanted to care about Leo, I still think like what they did with the visuals was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was, and once again, it was something that people had never seen before. And I think more movies need to come out where
push the limits.
Where he was the last survivor. He was the only one that could lead the army, and I was like, oh my God, how many times have we seen this plot? And Inception actually had something different to tell.
Yeah.
I think we need more movies like that. And please, God, Michael Bay, don't make another Transformers.
I sat. There's what 3 now, or 4? I don't even know how many there are. 3 maybe. And I sat through not in the movie theater. But I think on cable I saw a little bit of the first one. Basically, I think I saw he meets Megan Fox, and I thought that scene was better probably than any robot scene, and like that was. And then I think like I don't know. I didn't really see much of it. I couldn't stomach it. It just and the same thing with G.I. Joe. I didn't sit and watch it, but it's like I don't know. It's like they don't even care. I see that the new G.I. Joe read in the Entertainment magazine that Bruce Willis and The Rock are in the sequel, which is weird to me. I'm like, really? I'm like, all right, I guess they're hurting for cash.
It's called a paycheck.
A paycheck, yeah.
Actually, it's a film they did a long time ago with Ben Affleck, and it was called Paycheck, and I thought, finally they're being honest.
Yeah, he'll admit to that, yeah.
Yeah, like they called it Paycheck, so it was like...
Yeah. And actually, it wasn't amazing, and it wasn't great, but I mean... Oh, we talked about worst movies. Did you pick yours?
Well, the most recent one was... Oh, we got an error message.
No, I'm good. Oh, hopefully you don't crash.
Okay, we restored the server. Yeah. So,
Stop giving us messages, you...
Speaking of Hangout buds...
No, it's fine. No, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, for me, I've said it before, like, Bill Cosby should always have stayed on TV. Ghost Dad, Leonard Part 6 is the worst movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that talk about it being funny satire. No, it is terrible. There is nothing funny about it. It was like, and watching some of those movies, and then I was dragged to Spice World in college. And there was the recent H2O, which is Halloween.
Yeah.
And that was really bad too. And just like that movie, when I stood up, was like, really? That's the movie? It's like.
Yeah, well, Halloween H2O, at first I thought it was like, what are they, underwater? And it was like, no, it was 20 years. And there was a lot of confusion about that. But the Leonard Part 6 and what was it, Ghost Dad, the thing that's really disturbing about that is Bill Cosby's one of my, comedy heroes, like George Carlin, Richard Pryor, people like that. And he's a funny guy. He's a seriously funny guy. And for him to do something that's not funny. That kind of goes against the grain. That's blasphemous. So I don't know. But
No, it is. It was pretty bad, and I just want to shout out to Lori Friedrich. Mama Matters is watching T. Jallard, and that's over on the YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, hey peoples, thanks for tuning in. We'll be doing Conversations Plus soon. Just waiting on some of those surprises, and if not, then they'll catch up with us in Conversations Plus. Yeah, I mean, the interesting about the show, anything can happen, and it's about talking about you and what you do. It's also talking about Google Plus. It's talking about a lot of stuff. We can actually get into the. Oh wait, Lori had one more question. She wanted to know where was it? Your criteria for picking out the fabulously bad MovieRiff movies. What is your criteria?
Well, they have to have
talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, they have to have enough stuff going on. There has to be enough dialogue. Right. There has to be enough really awful special effects. I usually like Nikki helps me through it. I kind of skip through it.
Nikki, which Nikki?
Bernau. She helps me work with the films, and then she's a regular on the Sunday Hangout. And Nikki, and she always helps me, pick out the cream of the crop. And so we look for films that have a lot going on, but they're still terribly awful. And we usually skip to the end, find out how it ends, and that kind of thing. Kind of skip around and make sure there'll be something.
Do they have to be god-awful, though? Can they be good?
No, they need to be god-awful because it's MovieRiff, and if you're going to riff something, that's making fun of it. So, I'm never going to do a MovieRiff on Lawrence of Arabia. That would just be, stupid.
But you could do a MovieRiff on, because there are movies that are mediocre or they're good, but you could still riff on them. I mean, because you could riff on a Police Academy movie. They're all not bad, but, Well,
the trick to riffing on a movie that's a comedy already is it's kind of like if it was a satire in the first place, then it's hard to make fun of it. I tend to make fun of films that are unintentionally hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Well, but the cult film of all time that does that is Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I think is a good movie, right?
Yeah, that's an excellent film. But like with Plan 9 from Outer Space, that was supposed to be a horrifying tale of aliens taking over the Earth, and it was incredibly laughable. I mean, and actually I think it's coming out on Blu-ray, which is kind of fun because I like to see what kind of carpet they use for the cemetery.
Every time someone says coming out on Blu-ray, all I can think of is no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's all I can think of. George Lucas and his lovely work.
Darth Vader.
Yeah. Well.
Don't get me started on the prequels.
No. I mean, I think most people. I don't think anyone really likes the prequels. I think that occasionally I hear people liking the third one and saying the second one's so-so or okay, but for the most part, I don't think people like the prequels. There are people that don't even like Return of the Jedi. So they have issues with
I thought it was good, except for the Ewoks. But yeah.
But even the Ewoks, I'll take the Ewoks over Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Taste test definitely, but
I don't. One of them is Jamaican coffee, and then what? Who said that?
Misa. No.
Misa said, "Ooh, what's that?"
Oh, do a drunk. A drunk. That would be that.
I don't think. Yeah. Wait, wasn't he was drunk in one of the movies at one point? Wasn't he at once?
When I was watching, I wished I was. But
I was praying for someone to rescue me from Jar Jar Binks and all his hijinks. G Plus, I do a 9 Plus. Now that Google Plus is all out of whack, or those of you, so hey, and those of you watching again, I ask, do you love the new Google Plus? Do you hate the new Google Plus? Are you so sick of talking about it that you don't want to talk about it anymore? Tell me I don't want to talk about it. I'm using it. It is what it is, and that's it. That's fine. But my 9 Plus, it's interesting. You're the first 9 Plus with these new changes. What is your, and I don't know if you can still answer them, probably, your favorite part of Google Plus is what?
My favorite part? Probably the first thing would be the Hangout because of the MovieRiff, because I met some really cool people, and it's just so much fun. The other thing is I get to post my articles and things like. Actually, right now when I write my articles, I write it on Google Plus and then I copy and paste and put it on my blog. Because I get a quick response on here, and sometimes the more people like it, then I go, I'll use it. So it's a good sounding board, and I like to see all the different images and things, except for the cat gifs. But
that's a question I didn't get to yet. So
yeah,
the cat. That's coming up. Just a shout out quick to Monica. I hope that she was going to be one of our surprises. I hope that you're doing the best, and she's not feeling so hot. But
yeah,
we're hopefully we'll get to hang out with you and see your smelly face and
feel better soon.
You'll get to feel better. But we appreciate everyone that's watching. We appreciate Monica. We've all become, for those of you that are just tuning in or what is this or what's going on, we've been hanging out. The hangouts are all front and center. We've been hanging out since the summer, a lot of us, since the beginning. And,
not this hangout.
Yeah, no, in this hangout, we've been sitting here since the summer.
It just feels like it, but yeah.
Forever, because we've had 50.
Yeah,
and then people are hurling. So I believe, there was hurling or hangouts in real life, and they're going and meeting each other. They've been one in D.C. and New York and South by Southwest, and there's another one happening right now in D.C. In fact, that's where Bobby Joe is. And people are going to Miami, and where people have all the money to do this, I don't know. If you want to send me some money so I can hurl, and I'll do a broadcast and everything, some people have Kickstarters going, and I don't know how to do that. But I promise not to use all the money to get drunk. I promise to use the money to buy some equipment that's better and all that stuff. But yeah, no, it's interesting. And so basically, we all hang out, and then some of us met in real life, and some of the dynamics, and this show, it's amazing. Almost a lot of hangouts I'll have, but like, oh, everyone at this hangout, I either met in New York, or everyone at this hangout been on my show, or at some capacity, and it's really a cool feeling. Of course, I want high-profile people would be cool too. I want to have all kinds of people on the show, and but I really want to highlight people that aren't necessarily Mark Cuban. Although Mark Cuban, if you're not busy, if you have like 30 seconds, we could do a 30-second show.
I'll give him a call.
You should. He lives near you, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, we're practically neighbors.
Practically. We're hours apart.
Yeah.
Hangouts by the way, was the #1 answer if we're playing Family Feud for favorite part of G+, based on the last 28 guests. What feature would you like to see most integrated? Now that we have all these new features and new designs, is there something that's still lacking?
Hangouts.
Okay, is there a feature so you're basically the answer is I'd like to see Hangouts work better overall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I do think they're one of the things that Facebook and Twitter do not have, and as such, I think they should, they should work a lot better than they do now, especially when you're watching the Muppets Byron, hey Brian. Speaking of
Muppets. So yeah, it's one of those surprises I was talking about. So this is what Byron looks like now. You can see the hair is coming back. This in my hand used to be on his face. Is that scary to you? This is the remnants of his old beard that he shaved on my show. Are you freaked out, Glenn?
Yes.
Okay, you should be.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's in a bag that I don't ever touch.
I'm trying to fix things here. I have no sound
let me. Okay, we hear you, so I'm going to mute you.
It looked like a bag of weed.
It does. It's like redheaded weed.
So,
it's one of those
now
things.
You see it's like shavings from the beard, and I'm really scared now.
That is scary. Well, actually, it was one of those things where he did shave. We shaved on my show, and then as a schemer thing, I wrote jokingly about him sending me the hair or getting the hair, his beard, and he actually sent that, which is I don't get that freaked out. I found it was funny. And then he also sent me a zombie picture and a lot of other cool stuff that he drew and did. So
how's my favorite Walking Dead?
How are you, Byron? He's muted. All right.
Oh, there he's gone.
I'm gonna mute his audio again while he's playing around. And whenever you're ready, Byron, and you're good, you can jump in. But Byron Rempel is here to draw and make people undead again. But that's anything can happen on this show. Anyone can pop in and anything can happen. I'm scared. So when you think of Hangouts, what's the first thing that comes to your mind then?
When I think of Hangouts?
Yeah, is there like a word or like during your day, is there something that you're like, what, do Hangouts make you feel happy? I don't really know. Do you get that feeling that you can't find anywhere else except from the bordello down the street?
You know, it's a hangout. I'm really not that emotionally attached to it. I mean, it's fun, but yeah, I don't live and die by hangouts. And
Oh, I thought there was you were going to give us an epic speech from a night movie or a sword. I don't live and die by the Hangouts, but I.
Well, I was going to, but yeah,
Stuff.
yeah, I was going to IMDb and look up a monologue. But you give me enough time, so.
I'm sorry. Is there anyone on Google Plus that you love that maybe isn't as popular as they should be, or?
No, they're all pretty much, well, they're all popular in my book. Aww.
Is there anyone you wanna give a shout out to for? I mean, if you want to shout out all the other Hangout shows or friends that are doing Hangouts that we haven't mentioned, or any other projects.
Well, I definitely want to shout out Stephanie Wanamaker does this really great trivia at 7 Central on Mondays.
Monday.
And Stephanie's great, and Alex Grossman, and Lori Friedrich, and Nikki Burnell, and let's see, Michael Anderson, and Ryan Schultz, and the list goes on. The list goes on. It's a big list.
Cool. I need to do that someday. I do Mondays. I started doing the Plustainment show around 9 p.m. Eastern, so if I get my butt earlier, I will definitely do that. I'm just a broadcasting fool, you know, trying to go. I think
I'm just a fool. So.
In love. Cat dogs. Oh, cat dogs. Cat dogs? You like cat dogs? You hate cat dogs. Cat pictures, dog pictures, or animated GIFs. Which one? Choose one. You're like, I hate all of them.
Cat. Well, I'm a cat fan. I have a cat, so I'm a more of a cat person than a dog person.
Okay.
Yeah, not physically, but yeah. I mean, I like cats, but yeah.
Wasn't there? I know there was the Planet of the Apes, but was there a movie where there was cat humans or cat half cat? Maybe there was.
There was cat people.
Cat people, yeah.
Yeah, cat people with Nastasia Kinski, and I'll avoid the the obligatory pussy jokes, but anyway.
Oh no, I've already I covered that in the past. The pussy.
Yeah,
jokes.
I figured. So.
And, Tony Catano's here. Hey, he says you looking
hey,
good.
Tony.
Again.
There's another guy. There's another person.
Hey, Tony Catano. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Mystery Science Theater 5000. Yeah, I definitely want to try it all. It's one of those things where it's like there's so much going on and so many people, and it's really if all these shows, if my show could bring groups together and quote unquote cliques together and people doing different stuff, but there's only so much time in the day and to get it all done, and I definitely will promote. Always share your Hangouts with me. If you have a Hangout on air, anything, pretty much I'll share any of those Hangouts. So and get the word out about that.
Sure.
Share, reshare. If I can find out where the share button went, I will figure that out. Do you still use Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn? You talked a little bit about using it, about being 3 networks. Do you use it less, more, the same?
I use Facebook less and less and Twitter less and less. I keep tabs because I have some friends. I start off with Facebook, so I'm still, devoted to them. I still made friends on, and they still trying to get them over to Google Plus, but I still haven't learned. But yeah, Facebook, Twitter. I kind of got on Facebook to Google Plus, and that's kind of scary.
That's the undead coming. I made it.
Okay.
They're coming.
That sounded like Byron. Okay, cool.
So one addition to that. So with the new look and the new feel, do you think that would make people want to use Google Plus more than the old version, less, or it doesn't really change anything?
I don't know. I'm still kind of sorting it all out. I'm still learning how to use the new Google because everything's kind of moved around. But yeah, I think if a person just jumped on, it would be a little bit easier to access because they're familiar with icons and things sort of on Facebook and Twitter. You got those nice little icons on the left there, and I don't think they care much about the white space until they started getting into Google, and then they go, well, what the hell's with the white space? But no, I mean, it's very user-friendly. It still is user-friendly even with the new design.
Do you think Google is really, like, in their head they thought, you know what, let's have the white space to see everyone complain and make memes about the white space? Like, do you think that are they that in tune that they thought that? Or they're like, wait, how do we get more content and more of promoting maybe Google Plus? Let's leave this white space for people to talk about and then make memes. And do you think that they're that, or no way they're that clever?
I don't know. We're living in a world where a dog that sounds like he says "I love you" goes viral on YouTube. So I'm not discounting anything. So yeah, it's an interesting social media world.
It's a meta thing. Do you have any? Is there any G Plus story that comes to mind, Hangouts or other, that is your favorite or always makes you laugh or pretty crazy? How it happened?
How it happened.
Did anybody? Was there a funny story in the first time meeting someone, or is there anybody that makes you laugh nonstop besides your regular crew?
Makes me laugh nonstop. I don't know. There are too many people to name. We don't have enough time.
Too many people. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I love people that make me laugh. I like to make people laugh, but more importantly, I want other people to make me laugh too. So make me laugh.
What am I, a clown? What do I amuse you? I gotta make you laugh. I gotta be on the spot. What are you doing to me? This is like, Hickey from Kanicki's Hallmark.
Do I amuse you? Huh? Do I?
Yeah, give me another. Yeah, you want a fresh one?
Goodfellas, another one of my favorite films, by the way. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I didn't get to see Hugo 3D, a very different Martin Scorsese 3D, and that was one of the few highlights of the Oscars when Billy Crystal was talking about no whacking, no Bob De Niro, no Joe Pesci.
Hugo was excellent.
Yeah, I want to see.
Really, the 3D was good, but it wasn't required. And Byron, what's going on here?
Byron's Canadian, the Canadian connection, and maybe we'll just get him on Conversations Plus, which we're going to go to soon because it's about almost 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll see. We'll give him one more shot to get in here.
Yeah.
One more shot. Let me see if there's some more questions there. I got this is part 2. If you're just tuning in, Hangout Conversations with guests. Do you like to be known as author Glenn Rogers, blogger Glenn Rogers, both? Man of mystery Glenn Rogers?
Animal impersonator.
Can we hear some?
Yeah. Camera performance art. No. I just want to be known as a person.
That's always the first step. Knowing.
Yeah. As people accept me as a human being, then the rest of it just kind of comes into play.
You are human. So yeah. Byron is trying again. We see his wonderful profile picture, and there it is. It's hopefully will focus in. Hey, and he drew that himself, right?
We're trying to sell your facial hair on eBay. So
no, that was actually drawn by Nicholas Myers.
Or your doppelganger, Nicholas Myers. Right?
No, he's a cool guy. He does mods with people. Check him out, Nicholas Myers.
Yeah, Nicholas. It's funny. So Google Plus is an interesting place. When I think of zombies, I think Byron Rempel, Nicholas Myers, I think The Bidden, I think of The Walking Dead Circle, and Henry A. Otero, Jessica Wood, Tanyana Rowe, Laundry Ward, Crooklyn Morrow, and a bunch of other people. Richard, one of those. But yeah, so it's interesting, all that just for zombies, when I think of zombies. So there's certain, now we've been here long enough, when I think of a topic, I group so many different people for that topic. And there it is. There are the weapons of choice for Zombie Master, Byron Rempel, and he is going to play us the drums. No, he's gonna do a little something.
Do a little something. So you're gonna try to sell my facial hair online, eh?
What do we try? I think like the top bid is like 5,000 pennies.
Yeah.
I don't know how
operators are standing by.
Yeah, no, I haven't tried. Why would I do that? That's like a keepsake, like to be put in the Google Plus Social Network Museum when social networks no longer exist. And hey, speaking of which, Project Glass, have you drawn anything to make fun of Project Glass, zombie-wise? Yet?
No.
That'd be cool if you want to add.
Not aware of what that is.
So what Project Glass is? There's a video and it's not out yet. It's Google has. It'll be some kind of glasses, much like what Glenn Rogers is showing without the glass part of it, and it'll be like having, you won't need a cell phone or an iPad or anything, because literally it'll have a camera and it'll show, you will see icons appear in front of you, and you'll be able to voice activate. We'll see how great the voice activation is. And I believe in the commercial I saw them using the finger a little bit in air, but I'm not sure. And basically, as you're walking around in life or in these classes, you can actually like pop up the stuff on the internet, and it'll show you like GPS directions. Right. Yeah. And
I've seen those. I was wondering what those were.
Yeah, you put them online and you go, gee, I could really go for a Wii. And then you go, wow, see, and then the Wii appears on your lens.
It's dangerous if you think about the idea that people might be like not only being stalking and creepy, like with pictures and video cameras, and the idea that you could hit on someone wearing those glasses, and like while you're like having casual chat, your glasses are doing like the T-1000 Terminator, and it's like all the information about them is popping up, and you're like, your favorite drink, you order their favorite drink, they're like, how did you guess my favorite drink?
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Right off the top of my head, when you're talking about lurkers and people stalking, I'm just thinking someone's going to develop an app for that will keep the person's head, but will undress them in front of your eyes.
Wow, that would be,
you know what I mean?
That would be very intense. So there's only so many bodies, but yeah, I know. Although that's interesting too. Can you imagine looking at a person, discovering who they are, and then like searching for any like lewd or naked pictures of them? And then it's like you could find one. I mean, we're like the evil of it. There is good involved, although, the idea that people are going to bump into trees and bump into things, and the idea that they could be watching porn, or they could be gambling or shopping, like, and spending lots of money just with their eyes and their brain without their, like, that's amazing. It's crazy. So
stuff going on. It's a different world.
Tell us what you're working on.
I'm working on Glenn. Working on Glenn. Glenn needs to be worked on again. I did him a long time ago.
Glenn is you're being killed again and again.
Yeah.
I did you like what, back in August or September?
Yeah, sometime last year, probably August.
I think I've improved a little bit since then, so I might be able to do you a bit more justice this time.
That's good. Get all my facial features.
all the facial features.
I'm going to be removing facial features. That's the plan.
Chunks of skin. So, Glenn, do you watch The Walking Dead?
I do.
You do. Are you caught up?
I'm not.
You're not. Okay. Yeah. Byron's caught up, right?
Oh, I watched them all. Yes.
Yeah. So, how far are you, Glenn? So we don't spoil. Did you read the comic at all?
No, actually, I didn't know there was a comic. Sorry.
It's starting. Issue 100 is coming out in just a few days or something like that. I was reading.
They are making a video game too, so.
Probably, yeah.
There you go. Which, don't worry, I'll be writing an article on that.
You'll be writing on it. So what is it? We didn't get into video games that much. And actually, when you're done drawing, then we'll go into Conversations Plus, if that's cool.
Sure.
And you could maybe draw someone else or not. So what is your favorite video game of all time? Is that a tough one? Or you could do by genre.
Wow. Favorite video game of all time?
Pac-Man. What?
No, not Pac-Man.
What's wrong with Pac-Man? All right, what? I feel bad putting you on the spot. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, you do this.
That's nuts. Well.
So just talk about some of the games you really like, the games you're playing now.
Half-Life, which I'm really looking forward to when Half-Life 3 comes out. Never. But yeah, the Half-Life series was incredible. That was very cinematic.
I like Halo. But,
yeah, Halo's good.
Easy to please. I don't play video games much anymore. I don't get the chance. I got kids that take up all my time.
Well,
they love Super Mario Kart though.
Yeah, Mario Kart's fun. Well, see, when I play video games, since I write a fake gaming news blog, I call it research. So yeah, so now if I can get paid for it, yeah, we'll see what happens. But wow, I've never been more green in my life. That's nice. I like that.
It's your envy coming out.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, well, it's
a little gangrene, a little there it is.
Decomp.
Little decomp, little blood. So So how far are you into The Walking Dead? Did you finish here in season 2 somewhere, Glenn, or not yet?
Ask me that later. Yeah, I'm kind of in the midst of season 2.
Oh, are you? Okay, so you've gotten, are you still on the Sophia thing, or no, you're past that?
No, I'm on the Sophia thing.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Look, there's a zombie. It's coming on great. So it's interesting. We had a couple of shows about Walking Dead, and the thing that's great about Walking Dead, I believe, if not the highest rated cable show, it's up there as far as drawing in lots of viewers for a basic cable channel, and pretty impressive if it was a network show. It's definitely, while there are tons of zombies and that's the appeal, the idea that in a world like this where you can no longer be your regular moral self, your morality changes and questions happen, and it's really interesting in that respect. And the fact that The Walking Dead really refers to humans more than the zombies too. What do you have? What keeps you watching? Is it the writing? Is it everything? What's your favorite part about it?
Well, it's definitely the writing, because they could have done something where, look, zombies. But if you don't care about anybody, then But it's definitely the writing and the characters, and they're kind of approaching it how it would actually happen, as opposed to let's kick ass and kill all the zombies and that sort of thing. So it's dealing with, well, what if your friend turned into a zombie? That kind of a thing. If you had an emotional attachment to somebody and they turned into a zombie. That's definitely something very emotional.
So what would you do if one of your friends was turned into a zombie?
Just blow their head off. But no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. I mean, I guess if they look like a zombie, it's hard to recognize. But and there's something and they're gonna really deal with. You didn't get there yet, but it's gonna happen this season where they have to deal with stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Well, they dealt with that in the first season, so.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. That's really looking good. I like that.
Yeah, and I kind of like the idea. I've always liked, and Zombie Land too. I like the idea that they're in, even though it's Earth or the world as we know it. Although I think I'm still not sure, because it seems to me like the world they created in the TV show and maybe the comic book, there really aren't any cell phones don't seem to have existed. It doesn't seem like they ever had cell phones, but you don't really know.
Right.
And I like the idea that they can go anywhere at any time, and it could be a zombie, or it could be empty. There could be plenty of food. There could be no food. There could be. It's almost like these characters are in their own little zombie video game, right? In a sense.
Yeah. In a sense.
Yeah.
I like that they're keeping it kind of unknown. Like, they're not giving a lot of spoilers. They don't let you expect that there's going to be zombies there. When there are, it's almost unexpected, and that's kind of adds to the whole creep factor of the show. Yeah,
and I think it's good that they aren't sticking so strictly to the comic, and that they're willing to add characters, and characters stay alive longer than they did in the comic, or vice versa. And some people in the comic have sex, and then they don't have sex in the show, and vice versa, and things like that. And
oh, sure, give it away. People, not watching Walking Dead, and I want to watch it. And see
I know, I'm totally spoiling it.
Oh, spoiling
all the details. Anything. No, I don't. Yeah. He's messing with me in my mind.
Fine.
But although it is interesting, I guess if you're gonna die, you're like, F it, we're gonna die. Why not have sex and enjoy it? But I would imagine it's hard to enjoy. I know it's not real, but I can't imagine enjoying sex knowing that you could. That's how you could die. I would be.
You haven't tried it, don't knock it, really. But yeah.
Can you imagine though? I mean, I guess not. I don't know. It's all. Oh, I don't know. And the idea that you can't trust anybody, that really sucks.
Well, it is an election year, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Good point. We don't have to talk about that. In fact, that would actually be, and I don't know if you've done that, Byron, but seeing you draw Zombamba and Mitt Zombie. Oh, look, they have the perfect names. President Zombiamba and Mitt Zombie.
I like how you're bringing out my eyes. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, I should have actually brought it all the way out and had it hanging down here. But,
If you're just joining us, we're live with the author, writer, blogger, comedian, Glenn Rogers. And then Byron Rempel is here too now. And the zombie master.
Yeah.
Byron Rempel.
Yeah, those are my hands. I'm doing that. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. You have two cameras.
This is my own facial hair, so yeah.
Yeah, I know. I have some dirt on my face too. Yeah. Some craziness. So hey, Byron, while you're here, well, go ahead. No, you. Hey.
No, you.
Not about you. After you.
I was just going to ask if you ever tried to attach that facial hair to yourself. Have you even thought about it?
I have not opened. I might have opened the bag to smell it once for the hell of it, but I have not put my fingers in that bag. So.
Okay, now I'm getting creeped out.
Well, I wanted to make sure, even though it looks like real hair, it could have been, I don't know, it's possible it could have been a gag and it was just fake, but
No, it's real.
No, I realized that. Glenn's like, I'm gonna hurl, so Byron, while you're here and you're drawing, what kind of experience have you had with this new Google Plus? And when you first saw it and woke up to it, did you get wind of it before it rolled out, or when you first saw it, you didn't know about it? It was like, oh my god.
No, I had no idea. I woke up just like you, looked at it and thought, oh, it's changed. But I roll with the punches. That doesn't matter to me. As long as it works, it works. It takes some getting used to, but what choice do we have?
Yeah, don't lose your head.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, we do, although they do listen to some feedback, and I've seen users feedback, and they've changed things over time. But
I get the point of what they're trying to do, and some of it works, some of it doesn't. There is an awful lot of white space, but then again, some of the things don't get covered up when you're checking your notifications, or if a chat window pops up or something.
Maybe, and they'll definitely do stuff there. But I think that for me, I think I can accept it all. The biggest thing for me was just the idea that, well, if I'm going to cover a lot of posts, if I want to look at first of all, looking at circles, all of them, and accessing them easier, and I don't think it's easier to access them. Before they were all there, now I have to get more and search for them. But not just that, but also the idea that, like I said to Glenn, is that now I'm looking at my screen, and I only have one, maybe 1.5 posts on my screen at any given time. But before, I could have 4 or 5 or 6, depending on how big they are, and I could scroll through. So if I scroll down once, I went through 20. Now when I scroll down once, I go through 4 or 5 or 3, and sometimes a whole section of comments takes up my whole screen, and I don't understand.
Well, Andy, there's that extension where you can do a pause, where you can pause it, and I don't have to do that anymore because it's just one comment is this and one post is this, and so it's very interesting.
So it makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder if they don't want us to be able to get through everything. And the fact is, the plus one and reshare and comment, or the plus one and reshare number was on this side, on the left side, and they took that and they moved it over to the other side. And in my mind, everything that's on the left is what you see first, and your eye gets drawn to, and everything kind of on the right of that you don't see as much. And they interesting how they took that data and moved it over here. And not only is it over there, but then you have to click on it. You can't hover on it to see who plus one or shared. You have to actually click on it and then see a drop down. And then to get back to comments, you have to switch it. So it's not like you can see everything all at once like you used to be able to. And it's why would they want to make it? It seems more friction than less friction, and more work to find out information than before.
I think they're testing us. So I think the whole Google Plus is like an experiment. And yeah, we're on unwilling pawns or willing pawns. If you read the posts, or willing zombies. That's looking good too.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I'm doing this a la Cliff Roth. I'm going as fast as I can right now.
Take your time. Yeah, if you want, you can take a pause, and then we'll go to Conversations Plus, or either way, if that would be better.
Sure.
We can do that.
Conversations Plus then.
We'll go to Conversations Plus, be a new hangout. So, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for part 1, part 2. I'd like to thank Glenn Rogers. I hope you had a good time, Glenn Rogers, even with all the power outages. And please plug your shows and your website. You have you do the Shakespeare Hangouts. You do MovieRiff.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly MovieRiff on Saturday and Sunday. I don't like to plug things. Newsosphere, the Newsosphere, that's newsospherewordpress.com, and GameView, Fake Gaming News, Print to Fit, that's .blogspot.com. And you can see me yakking on here. And, of course, my ebook, Collected Items from the Newsosphere, available on Amazon and everything else. So...
No, I'm just kidding. I was like, he doesn't like to plug at all. Not at all. Look at that guy.
Buy it, read it, learn it, know it.
GameView as well.
Yep. GameView, Newsosphere. Come see us at the MovieRiff. It's a bunch of fun.
It's a bunch of fun. And Circle Glenn Rogers. And you wanna talk about Kenny Rogers, or you don't talk about him only at holiday dinners, or?
We're not related. And you can circle me. Just don't do it in real life because it's just kind of creepy.
Unless you're getting married and you're Jewish, then it's okay.
Good point.
That happens.
I didn't think of that.
Listen. If you beat me to the Jewish circling under the canopy riff meme, then tell your take it. Byron Rempel, thanks for dropping in. We're going to continue with Byron Rempel, continue with Glenn Rogers,
Thanks,
Conversation Plus, which will be a new hangout, and
No problem.
Invite a bunch of you. Thanks for watching on YouTube, whether you watched it live or recorded, or you're watching this on Google Plus Stream. It just popped up, and you're like, oh, look at that shiny button. Boom. And you watched the whole thing, part 1, part 2. If you just watched part 2 without part 1, you should probably go back and catch up because you want to make sure you know what's happening. You need to watch both parts, right? Right, Glenn Rogers?
Yeah. Will they, won't they? Who's going to get shot? If you missed that stuff, you got to really go back and.
Yeah, we talk about if there's a new Dallas, and if JR will get shot on that Dallas.
It's not like Lost, except for the last season, which sucked. So yeah.
That's something we agree on. We'll talk more about that. How pissed off we are about last season. In fact, I do a Plustainment show Mondays with Jane and Ellen about pop culture, but maybe I'll just say with you a little more depth about television.
And a shout out to Jane. Love Jane.
Jane Ellen's great, and shout out to everyone that was watching as well. Stephanie Wanamaker, Lloyd Friedrich, Alex Grossman, Tony Catano, Joel Renner came by and talked about Google Glasses. Put a link there. Thanks, Joel Renner. As well as Motivus Jones and Sean. Is it Sean Cohen or Cowan? I don't know. Byron knows, right?
Nope.
All right.
I'm in the dirt.
Cohen. I never know. I should know. Sorrow Alex, Michael Carvel, Adrian Mowry, and everyone else that was watching. Everyone over on YouTube. And Monica, Feel Better. Show is dedicated to you. Why not?
Yes.
And she was going to be another surprise, but she will be on a future show. And next week we have Scott Detweiler, who's a conceptual portrait photographer. Mike Cyril, Jane Ellen, Matt Gibson, and a lot of other people coming up. Check hangoutconversations.com for all our upcoming guests and shows. Until next week, you can find all those Hangout Conversations, Conversations Plus, and Plustainment Show Kicking and Plussing, all fun hangouts on air on Google Plus. YouTube, Pinterest. We jumped into Pinterest, even though Glenn Rogers is scared of Pinterest, and I understand, just another website to deal with. But go dive headfirst into that new design. I say you should use that new extended extension. That really helps me out a lot for your stream, so go do that. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Drive safe.
Yes, drive safe. Tip your waiters. All right, let me see one more. Let's end on I Am Zombie. You're watching Hangout Conversations. Ho, 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 ho.